Good evening, everyone. What a day. What a day. Uh, Today was CPI 8:30 pre-market. Tomorrow we've got PPI, Waller, and the 30-year bond auction occurring. Uh, the market, as I'd said on Sunday, is all bulled up. I think we're going to eventually get a tag of that 42.30. ES just lagging behind. You can see that 41.60-ish to 70-ish zone kind of marking our high of the day. I think 69.5 was the RTH high, and I think the zone is right around 70, 71.75. There we go. And just really struggling after that as well. This is a 2-hour chart, and you can see it struggled 1, 2, and now this third time during Globex here to get a move up above this spot. And I think if we do, we can start looking at perhaps a new high of the year. Whether that happens tomorrow or not, I'm not too sure. The VIX, as of now, is comically sitting at below 17 as we start to rally upwards. Now, to the downside, sellers are once again unable to get to those lower two RTH gaps. I think they start about at 41.10 or so. Just checking my notes here. 41.12 quarter is our low of the day, and that first gap does begin right below that at 11s. So sellers unable to get a meaningful move downwards, reclaiming 32s, buyers reclaiming 32s, and then just ramping this thing up towards the highs of the session. And now getting a close up in that back in that 53-ish area above Tuesday's high of the day. I think perhaps also above Monday's high of the day. Just checking my notes here. It didn't close above Monday's high of the day, but we are trading currently above Monday's high of the day. So that's how I'm looking at the ES. Now over on the Nasdaq, much more bid. You can see we held this 200-ish area during the overnight session. We had some nice selling, held that 210 area, and we never revisited it again. Whereas ES flushed the overnight low, this thing just stayed way more bid. We hit that 210 right around last week's VWAP close and last week's point of control. Had that CPI pin ripped up to new highs the year around 430ish. That was an intraday level that I had right around I think 415 or so. The sell-off during the RTH was unable to break this yesterday's close, that 4 p.m. close, sitting at what is that 265ish, 266 quarter. So we were unable to break yesterday's close, unsurprising after a gap up, and this thing is just very bid. As long as we're trading above this 13,200 zone, this 200-240 area, which was such critical resistance during April, and you can see how we've slowly regained it, and now we've really shot above. As long as we're trading above that 200 area, perhaps that should have been the pivot on the week. As long as we're trading above that, this thing is really bid. I would be careful trying to fade it. With that said, I'm looking to trade these guys. Well, on the NAS, I do have a couple fade trades up here. Let's go from the bottom up. 13,200 long. I really like that spot. I think it would be good for another bid during the RTH. Above there, I can't choose right now between 13,300 and 3/4. So kind of the weekly open between that and 311 half. The what is that? The quarterly high. So that would be March's high, January to March's high at 311 half. The reason I've got 311s in there instead of the number, which I actually like a little bit better at 300, is because that is the ADR low, so that would tend to get respected. Now, in an ideal scenario, ideally, bulls hold this 356 number, that being a little bit below the VWAP close, a little bit below whatever that is, last week's high. I like it as sort of the a pivoty spot on the day. I like that it's right around that 95% of prior week's value area high, right around today's point of control. That is the today's point of control actually. So I think if we hold that, you would be just below, sure, just below last week's high, but still above where all the volume was done. And you'd be where all the volume was done today. And I think we could get a bid back up towards the highs. Now, if we do gap up, which is looking like a probable scenario, I would like to take the close long at 410 half, just because we did close far above the VWAP on the session. And I think there will be some shorts offside at that gap price close. Above, you can see some shorts up there. 504, that is a weekly VWAP close from God knows how far back. Above there, 541. That is that was an area of supply, if I believe. Just trying to, God, I gotta go pretty far back here. maybe I'll save that for another day. Yeah, 541, just an area of supply, and I'm going to let it to a stop run first at that 554 area. But anyway, that is what I'm looking at for that. Over on the ES, how am I looking at trading this intraday? Well, I'm a little bit more short biased. The ES has yet to break that 61 area, while the NAS is making new highs on the year. I would be willing to take this thing for a short at 69, so right below the high of the day. It looked like a nice level intraday during that pre-market. So if we run the day's high, looking for a short before any tag of that 55 area, so before any tag of yesterday's close or the point of control or any of that stuff. Below there, looking to get long 45 quarter. That is settlement highs. That is also sort of the critical. You can see that was our critical support all week. It became resistance on Tuesday after that gap down, and then we reclaimed it. So it's similar to that 13,000. Whatever that is, 500-ish number. No, sorry, 356 number. Similar idea with that. Below there, looking for one last long at 32.5, and that is if we open sort of below here instead. So I'd be looking for a move into 32s and then a pump upwards. 32s being our critical level for, I don't know now, pretty much an entire quarter. The quarter so far, that is the quarterly open, so no surprise. And you have settlement lows right below there at 31, so I think that'll be an important spot for longs to protect. So above, they're looking for that gap close short at 84.75. Now, if we do gap up on this thing, I do not want to be long at 69. I think I would be waiting instead for the price close, which I believe is 53s. Just checking my other screen. Yes, 53 on the dot. So that's what I'd be looking at. If gap up, I would be taking 53s for a long. And that's all I'm really looking at. Today was really great, and all I was really looking for today was for us to get some sort of ranges being established. I was looking for us to either break 17s, which we did. It was great. That opens up this nice big range for us to play in. And on the NQ, I wanted to see us crack 400s, which we did. So now we have this really nice big range to play in for the next couple days, and we can see what we get from there. So long 200, 300 to 311.5. Not sure which one I want just yet. Long 356, long 410s if we gap up. Short 504s, short 541s after a stop run on the ES. Long 32s if we open somewhere down here. Long 45s if we open somewhere here. If we gap, long 53s. If no gap, I'll be looking for a short at 69s after a run of that high, that 69.5 high, and then short 84s, that gap close. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. Ooh, almost 8 minute video. So I'll get going, and I think we'll have some updates to this pre-market. We usually get some sort of eventful Globex, and then we do have PPI as well coming in at 8:30. So keep that in mind. Have a great night and trade safe, you guys.